Today on Twitter, I asked you, what is your favorite wrestling match of all time? And I got nearly 3,000 responses in less than 24 hours. So today I learned that if you ever want to get wrestling fans talking, just ask what their favorite match is. They won't shut up about it. And favorite doesn't necessarily mean the best. It's just the match that stuck with you the longest. It's the match that you would take to a deserted island, and it's the only match that you could watch over and over again. I have my personal set of favorite matches of all time, and they don't necessarily coincide with being the best matches of all time. So in today's video, I'm going to look at your responses. I'm going to critique your favorite matches of all time and see if I like them or hate them. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring that bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with his YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. And this is a reminder that I do these types of videos fairly regularly, so if you want to be featured in a future video like this, make sure that you're following me on X. The link will be in the description of this video. All right, let's jump to your answers. I got this one a lot. The end of an era Hell in a Cell match between Triple H and The Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee at WrestleMania 28. I decided to start with this one not only because it was an answer that was replicated hundreds of times in the Twitter thread, but because I also think that it might be my favorite match of all time. I teeter-totter between like 3-4 different matches, but this one is always in the conversation. To me, this is what professional wrestling is all about. Not only do I think that the match in the ring is objectively good, it's got great spots, it's got violence because it's a Hell in a Cell match, but more than anything, it's got drama. It's got earned drama. Drama that if you've been a fan for wrestling for a long time, you are going to appreciate even more because it is the end of an era of professional wrestling that you were a massive fan of. It finally came to a giant head at this awesome show in this awesome match. I highly recommend this match to people that have never seen it before. If you're a newer wrestling fan, I think that this is a match that you can appreciate going back knowing what these two would end up meaning to the business of professional wrestling. One of the greatest matches I have ever witnessed live and in person. I have seen better since, but this one sticks. It's special. Referring to Johnny Gargano versus Andrade at NXT Takeover in Philadelphia. This match is just objectively very good. Like, this is a perfect wrestling match. It's got everything that you could possibly want in an awesome 25+ minute affair. These guys do everything imaginable to destroy each other within the confines of a regular wrestling match. There isn't like weapons. This isn't a huge gimmick match. It's just good old wrestling and grabs. But I pointed this one out because you saw it live. And I have a match as well that's near and dear to my heart because I got to see it live as well that we'll talk about later on in this video. I do think that when you witness something special live, it sticks with you longer than if you see it on TV. Even though the viewing experience on TV is usually just objectively better, there's something about the energy of seeing that special bout in person that will always stick with you. This one just has the magic of professional wrestling, referring to Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat for the Intercontinental Championship all the way back at WrestleMania 3. I picked this one out because this is my co-host of the Wrestling in School podcast. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Audio services are on YouTube here. But I've also picked this one out because I don't really like golden era wrestling. I find it really boring. I find it very one-dimensional. I get it. It's a product of the time. To me, it just didn't age very well for the product that I like in this modern era of professional wrestling. However, this is one of those matches that to me did age gracefully. This is a match that any era of professional wrestling fan can watch and instantly recognize that you're watching something special. It wasn't just about the larger than life characters like a Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. This was two genuinely amazing professional wrestlers putting on an absolute clinic. First time I can vividly remember two of my favorite going up against each other at such a huge stage. Jericho stealing the tune-up and then Get Sweet Chin Music, Pop Me Huge. Pop Me Huge is a very weird choice of words, but sure, popped you huge, my friend. That's good. Hey, this match is amazing. This is arguably the best match of this WrestleMania, a WrestleMania that was stacked with already very, very good matches. I vividly remember this feud. I love the feud. I love the lead up to WrestleMania. I love the storyline of Jericho like being so enamored by Shawn Michaels, how their careers intertwined because Chris Jericho mirrored so much of what Shawn Michaels had done before him. It was his hero. It was his idol. And now it was his job to destroy him at WrestleMania. It's a beautiful story. It was a beautiful match. And sure, it popped me huge too. There's a few, but Cena versus Punk at Money in the Bank 2011 was just so much fun. I picked this one because I think you're right. It was just so much fun. And this is also, I dare say, in my top 5 favorite matches of all time. I acknowledge that there are better in-ring matches out there, but this one is also very, very good. This is another reason why I always tell people like, hey, don't say Cena can't wrestle, because he gives these great wrestlers their best matches. And this is another great example of one of CM Punk's best matches being against the guy that can't wrestle in John Cena. But more than anything, it was the story. This was, to me at the time, one of the coolest things that WWE had done in terms of storytelling and narrative. This guy, CM Punk, going rogue and trying to take the WWE Championship and go into different wrestling organizations. To me, it was something that I'd never personally seen. I don't know if it was done in WWE before, but I'd never seen that personally since I'd become a wrestling fan. I was so enamored by this feud, so enamored by this match, and also just blown away by the Chicago crowd. To me, at the time, that was the best crowd that I'd ever seen. Kofi is my favorite wrestler of all time. I almost cried when he won the title. It's those things that stick with you, right? Like the guy that you've been following through his entire career, finally reaching the top of the mountain. I can totally understand why something like this sticks with you. I will say, Kofi Kingston never really did it for me, and Daniel Bryan I enjoyed, but never was somebody that I really emotionally connected with outside of the Yes Movement. So although I did like this match, it was very good. For me, what I enjoyed about this the most was actually the build of how Kofi Kingston got into this match itself. The match, objectively, just a really, really good wrestling match. I'm just not as emotionally attached as some other people. Twice in a lifetime. This one is personal for me. Young me invited all of my friends over to watch, and then all of us cheering when Cena won. I think the most impressive thing out of this is that you had friends that were willing to watch WrestleMania with you, because where the hell were those friends when I was growing up? I didn't have any of those. So good for you for convincing your friends and making them watch wrestling. However, this is the worst one of the two. I'm sorry. I do love the Cena Rock feud. It's one of my favorite feuds of all time, but WrestleMania 28 is better. I'm sorry to ruin your childhood memory, bro. I'd have to go with the TLC match at WrestleMania 17. Yeah, I mean, this is what I call the Starbucks basic bitch answer, and that's not me insulting you. It's just that it's such a easy match to get behind because of all of the crazy spots. You didn't need this elaborate storyline. You didn't need to be emotionally invested in any of these guys. You just had to be in awe and wonder of all of the crazy shit that they were doing. Everyone will like this match because of the awesome car crash that it ultimately is. It's just a storyline and a feud that doesn't really have the substance for me, but as a singular match, that moment of from beginning to end, it's fucking amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's not the best match of all time, but to me, my favorite match of all time is still Triple H and Shawn Michaels for SummerSlam 2002. Triple H is probably my all-time favorite, and this match was what got me into HBK. I narrowly missed his run in the 90s. This is one of my favorite matches of all time. I credit this match for making me a hardcore wrestling fan. Nay, not just the match, the entire feud of Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. I had just gotten into wrestling. Like, I'd been watching maybe for 3 months at this point. And to me, this was the first time that I saw a feud that really stuck with me. That was more than just about, hey, I want to win the belt, brother. It was a feud that I could connect with, a feud between two friends, these guys that were brothers, and even at the time, 9-year-old me could understand why that's so painful to go through, to have to fight your best friend. I couldn't imagine that. I missed the entire HBK run, so this was my introduction to HBK, but again, pretty much I was at this time being introduced to everyone. So I was a blank slate, just sitting in my room watching this SummerSlam in awe. Also, I have a special place in my heart, not just for this match, but for the show. But this is the first ever WWE pay-per-view that I was allowed to purchase with my parents' money. It was a birthday gift, a late birthday gift for me. Oh, no, no. No, you bitch, Triple H. You bitch.
Great shot.
Oh my
God.
My. Oh my God.
Oh my. Oh, there it is. Oh.
Look at this. That was a sneak peek of this week's SummerSlam Wrestling is Cool Match Club, which is available exclusively over on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week, we're looking at the first ever Universal Championship match between Seth Rollins and the Demon Finn Balor at SummerSlam 2016. The World Championship match between John Cena and Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam 2013. The amazing TLC match between Jeff Hardy and CM Punk at SummerSlam 2009. The famous custody of Dominic Mysterio ladder match between Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero at SummerSlam 2005. And we'll also be looking at the infamous 2005 match between Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam 2005. So if you want to get those match watch-alongs alongside the Raw review, SmackDown review, the Wrestling is Cool podcast 3 days early, and more, make sure you check out patreon.com/SantiZap. The link will be in the description of this video or in the pinned comment. Go check it out. I'm pretty confident that if you even try for 1 month, that you're going to stick around and fall in love with it. All right, back to the video. There's definitely better wrestling matches out there, but this one's an absolute banger. Yeah, the match is very good. I recently rewatched WrestleMania 30. It's available up on the Patreon. But to me, I actually like the match that happened earlier in the night between Daniel Bryan and Triple H. To me, that actually felt like the climax of the story. And then what came after it was just the solidification of Daniel Bryan as the top guy. But yes, this match is very good. When I think of this, I also inherently connect this in the Triple H match. I almost consider it like just one long match narrative thread throughout the entirety of WrestleMania 30. This will go down as one of the best triple threat matches of all time, in my opinion. There was not a single dull moment in this match. This is real graps. I love this match. I think that this is one of the greatest, if not the greatest triple threat match that I've ever personally seen on WWE programming. I think the reason why this is a special match as well is because this is the match that I think people that are now current fans of NXT can scream from the top of the mountains and tell the people that fell off during the death of NXT Black and Gold to come jump back into the water, because we're right back into the height of another awesome NXT run. NXT is amazing right now, and to me, this is the apex of the climax, the top of the mountain of how good NXT has been. This match is objectively fantastic. As time has passed, this is now objectively the greatest match of all time because ... Yes, we do know about all of the indiscretions of Vincent Kennedy McMahon and everything that he's done. And yes, this is actually an incredibly cathartic match. If you are wanting to watch Vince McMahon get his fucking ass kicked for 20 minutes by HBK, this is the match for you. This is maybe the most enjoyable squash match that I've ever seen. There is like maybe 2 minutes where Vince McMahon actually has the upper hand, but for the entirety of the match, it's just Shawn Michaels finding creative ways to obliterate Vince McMahon. He even at one point handcuffs Shane McMahon to the ring and makes him watch as he climbs to the top of the ladder, puts Vince McMahon on a table, puts a garbage can on his head and jumps from the ladder, elbow drops through the table on top of the garbage can to obliterate Vince McMahon. This is the funniest, most enjoyable, actually very good squash matches that I've ever seen. Worthy of WrestleMania for sure. Easily WrestleMania 18, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. I'm always a bit torn as to whether or not I should recommend this match to newer wrestling fans, because it does feel like this is a love letter to people that were fans of the time, people who were fans of The Rock and people who grew up watching Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I feel like if a new wrestling fan were to go back and watch this, it might not hit the same because they weren't part of that era. I wasn't either, but it was still a match that I was able to go back on and enjoy. So I do think that there is value for wrestling fans that are just getting into the product. More than anything, what you need to realize is that this might be the hottest crowd that I've ever seen at a WrestleMania ever. Nostalgia just takes over everyone in Toronto. The Rock went in as the good guy, Hulk Hogan went in as the bad guy. They initially started cheering The Rock, but that didn't last very long because nostalgia goggles took over. Everyone wanted Hulk Hogan to Hulk up, and everyone wanted Hulk Hogan to win. This crowd is an emotional roller coaster. Never will be another match like this one, referring to Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door 2023. I was second row for this match, and this match is so fucking good. Like, I'm sure it turned out really well on TV, but as we were talking about, when you see something special live, it sticks with you. And for me, this is one of those things that has stuck with me. This match, to me, is just perfect, and I've never seen it on TV, and I never want to see it on TV because I just want my experience, the live experience, to be the only one that I remember this match by, and it was flawless. Randy Orton versus Mick Foley at Backlash 2004. Yeah, if you're a sick fuck, I could see why you love this match. This match is gruesome. Many people say that this is the match that made Randy Orton the star that he ultimately ended up becoming. I think he was still gonna become a star anyway, but seeing Randy Orton go through the trials of tribulations of a Cactus Jack match really did help elevate him, in my opinion. Seeing Randy miss the RKO and land on thumbtacks is an image that I will never forget. The sheer panic and pain going through Randy's face at the same time when that happens is an unforgettable image. Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles was the best match of WrestleMania 33, which I got to attend live. An incredible match that truly made me realize that Styles was that guy. Look, this match is actually quite good. It is the best match of WrestleMania 33, but to me, this is kind of like remembering one good thing around something that was just objectively bad. Maybe think of a time where your life was just terrible, but maybe there was one really good home cooked meal, and that was just like the best memory that you had of those times, and everything else around you was terrible. I feel like Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles is that home cooked meal because everything around Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles was just hot garbage. I really love this match, and it's become my favorite since Bray has passed. The story it told and the sheer creativity behind it is so amazing. You have hit on another Santi personal favorite. I love this match, partly because it is just a love letter to John Cena. I understand that this isn't a traditional wrestling match, but this is supposed to be a wink, wink, nod, nod to everyone that grew up loving John Cena, and I was one of those guys. This match was made for the me's of the world, which is why I hold it in such regard. I still think it's the greatest love letter to a wrestler ever. Bayley versus Sasha Banks, the 30-woman Iron Man match at NXT Takeover Respect. I like their NXT Takeover Brooklyn match more, but this is also a very good one. It's up there with one of the best women's matches that I've seen in WWE, and certainly in contention for the best women's match ever in NXT. Since Edge is my GOAT, I gotta go with one of the best matches of his career, Edge versus Mick Foley at WrestleMania 22. I just got to watch this match, like literally like 6 days ago. It's already up on the patreon.com/SantiZap. Check the description, check the pin, whatever it might be. Just go over there. It's already up. My full reaction from beginning to end for this match. And this match was way better than I remembered. The chaos of this is so much more violent than I remembered. The barbed wire stuff, some crazy bumps that Lita was taking. Of course, the flaming table is just such a visceral moment. I'm never going to forget this match. To me, this match can never be replicated, and they'll never do a match this violent ever again at a WrestleMania. There are so many options, but this one holds a special place in my heart, referring to John Cena versus RVD at One Night Stand 2006. Yeah, the match is fine, but more than anything, it is about the crowd. It is about the atmosphere. It is about the fact that people were going to get into a huge riot if John Cena won in that arena. It was something to behold. This was a special and unique night that, again, I've said it before, I don't think can ever be replicated. I don't think that you could pull this off ever again in the WWE. They did it once, and it's going to be something that sticks with us forever. Great swan song for Sami in NXT. Breathtaking debut from Shinsuke. My favorite match of my favorite era of NXT, which is my favorite era of wrestling ever, referring to Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura at NXT TakeOver Dallas. NXT at this point has already already had great matches, but to me, this was the first classic NXT match. This was the first match that I could really tell people you need to watch NXT because look at what you're missing. Again, there were good matches before, but to me, this was the first perfect match, truly special match that I've seen on NXT. So I also credit this for putting its hooks into me and making sure that I never miss anything from NXT for the next several years. The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 39. The story that led up to this match, plus getting to experience it live, was amazing. Yes, we talked about watching it live definitely enhances the experience and your memories of it, so I totally get it. But this is just like an objectively amazing match. It was, for me, the best in-ring match of the entirety of 2023, but as you've already alluded to, it was about that story, man. The story made this match so much more special and so much more gut-wrenching. John Cena versus AJ Styles was and is still one of my favorite feuds. This match is special because Cena tied the record and there's a nuance of them never leaving the ring. This is also one of my favorite feuds ever. I could pick and choose any of their matches from their trilogy and I'm going to like them all. I like the fact that this one's special for you because it was the time that Cena tied the record. But look, to me, it's a crapshoot. I like all three of them. I think all three are equally good and equally special. But yeah, this feud is amazing. Best women's title defense I've seen in years and still is. I'll do you one better. I think this is the best women's match that I've ever seen. I don't know if that's a hot take. I still think this is just such an unbelievably good match. I can't think of a better women's match than this. Seriously, in terms of the stage, how they delivered, the fact that it made a huge uber megastar out of Rhea Ripley, this was just perfect. Look, I'm saying it again. This is the best women's wrestling match of all time. Whatever, sue me. A masterclass between two of the all-time GOATs. Two somewhat different styles, yet mesh so well. The storytelling, the spots, it had everything. Referring to Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21. This is an amazing match, but this is also the match that always quickly reminds me to not focus and put all of my eggs in the basket of the opinion of one individual. I'm referring to Dave Meltzer. This isn't a shit on Meltzer video or anything like that. But the fact that this isn't a 5-star match versus some of the matches that he's given 5 stars to is actually ludicrous. This match is perfect. This match is perfection. Like you said, two different styles that still mesh so well because it's two of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. Of course, this match is amazing. The Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy ladder match from Raw in 2002. This match is highly underrated in my opinion. It's the perfect match. There were times where I thought Jeff was going to pull it off. It's a great match to show non-wrestling fans to try and get them interested. Everything that you said here is true, and I have recent memory of this match because we also recently watched it in the Wrestling is Cool Match Club, patreon.com/SantiZap. Check the description, check the comments. This is maybe one of my favorite ladder matches of all time. On the Patreon, people always vote up ladder matches because they have the ability to be able to vote on what matches we react to. Ladder matches always make it to the top. You sick freaks like your carnage. I get it. And I've seen so many ladder matches over the last several months because of that. And this is maybe my favorite ladder match because it's not ridiculously over the top with its spots, but it is impactful with its spots. More than anything, Jeff Hardy is an amazing storyteller in this, and Undertaker was a fish out of water that somehow still managed to swim through cement. Undertaker in a ladder match doesn't make any sense, yet he was still amazing in this. This match is truly, truly great. All right, folks, thank you so much for answering the question. Again, check out the Twitter if you want to be part of these videos in the future, but that's it. I'm done. Get out of here.